After a disappointing loss to Minnesota, USC returns home to the Coliseum to take on the number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions. This has become a must-win game. The margin for error is completely gone. And if this team has real aspirations of making the college football playoff, this is simply a game we have to win. If we pull it out, the season is jump-started and we have everything still ahead of us. If we lose, it's effectively season over. Which path will SC take? We'll break it all down in today's game preview. It's USC, it's Penn State, game preview number 6. Let's go. What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the Penn State game preview, and man, this is a big one. As big as the LSU game was for our program, it really feels like this one's bigger. I personally never really felt as if this year was playoff or bust for us, but having 3 losses this early in the year would really set up a scenario for an ugly year for our guys. Must win, but very excited to get into this today. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and let's get into this. Of course, to start off here, let's meet the Nittany Lions, and as always, we start with the head coach. And the head coach is, of course, multiple-time USC head coaching candidate James Franklin. I hope James has sent over USC a bouquet of flowers or something as a thank you for the multiple big extensions he got after being linked in our coaching search time and time again. Seems like he does that every single coaching cycle. But in all seriousness, James is a guy that gets a ton of unnecessary hate in my opinion. Is he a top 5 coach in the sport? No. But he's a damn good football coach. His teams are always physical, his teams are always prepared, and this year's squad is no different. Offensively, we start with the brand new OC for Penn State this year in Andy Kotelnicki. He came over from Kansas and he has done a really good job with this group. He's aggressive with his play calling, he's very creative, he mixes up his formations a ton. This is definitely a tough group to prepare for, especially because their quarterback is kind of a wild card. I've been a big fan of Drew Aller for a while now. I'm a Cleveland sports fan, so I knew about Drew back when he was playing at Medina. He is very much a Northeast Ohio kid. He's a very large human, 6'5", 235, big arm, can make all the throws. He can run it, but for a guy his size, he's not as powerful as you would think. And what we've seen of Drew so far in his career is that he has these flashes of brilliance, and you can't help but think, yeah, this guy's gonna be a first-round quarterback. And then you have these moments where he either looks terrified to make a mistake, or his accuracy is so off that you think, man, this kid can't hit the broadside of a barn. But this year, the Penn State offense has done a fantastic job of allowing him to play within himself. They're still not really hitting those explosives in the throw game, but he's playing mistake-free football, and the accuracy does seem to have taken a jump from last year. Now, the receivers here are interesting. Julian Fleming is the big name. He was brought in from Ohio State to be the wide receiver 1. That hasn't really panned out to this point. He's a solid college wideout, but not a number 1 option by any means. The names of wideout you need to know are Wallace, Evans, and Clifford. Those are the 3 wideouts that are going to get a lot of run here. But in terms of pass catchers, the unquestioned number 1 target on this Penn State team is tight end Tyler Warren. This guy is 6'6", 260, averaging 12 yards a catch. Kind of a nightmare matchup for us. With Gentry out, we don't really have anyone that can line up with him. Zion is the best bet for me. If we have a Keely Arnold trying to man him up, it's going to be a long day for us. Maybe Kamari can do some of that as well. But yeah, down in the red zone, this is target number 1 for Penn State. Circle him, highlight him, whatever we do, watch out for this guy. But the real story and biggest threat on this offense are the halfbacks, and Nicholas Singleton in particular. Katron Allen is also a dude. But yeah, Singleton is a stud. He actually didn't play last week. Not sure if he will this week. I assume he would. And man, this is a top 5 back in the country for me, full stop. He can house it from anywhere on the field. Very tough to bring down. And what I will say is that if the same USC rush defense from last week shows up this week, he'll run for 250 yards. We have to be much better against the run. This is not a team like LSU that will abandon the run in the second half. They'll run it until we stop it. This is also a very good offensive line. The weak link in terms of pressures allowed is the center, but this is a big physical group that's going to be tough to get through if Anthony Lucas is out. That's going to be a massive injury for us to watch. Surviving this game without Gentry and Lucas is going to be a tough ask on the defensive side of the ball for us. But yeah, overall on the offensive side for Penn State, this is a very tough matchup for USC. Their strengths are our weaknesses. Coaching will be the deciding factor here. Can D'Anton Lynn come up with some wrinkle to help us get stops? That's a must if we want to win this game, so can't wait to see what happens. I also can't wait to see what happens this week over on Prize Picks. Very quick withdrawals, some of the easiest gameplay you'll find, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the number 1 daily fantasy sports app. This week, I'm rolling with Jacoby Lane to get more than 34.5 receiving yards. Miller Moss to get more than 242.5 passing yards, Shedeur Sanders to have more than 1.5 passing touchdowns, Jackson Dart to score more than 0.5 rushing touchdowns, and also Avery Johnson in that game against Colorado to have 63.5 rushing yards. If you want to roll with this lineup or create your own, click the link in the description to head over to PrizePicks.com and use code BLADE to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. Again, that's a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups over on PrizePicks.com when you use my code BLADE. Thank you so much, PrizePicks. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, now heading over to the defensive side. Today, I don't want to talk about scheme. I don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of it. It's very simple this week for us. We have to block. We can't have these catastrophic plays because the tackles are getting whipped. We simply must block these guys somehow, some way. And as tough as that matchup was against Michigan along the line, this one's even worse. This is by far the most athletic front we'll see all year. Abdul Carter is a freak. He's one of those game-wrecking top 5 picks on the edge. He lines up on the left tackle more often than not. So Elijah Page, it's time to step up here. He has to be ready for this because this is a different level player than even a Josiah Stewart was. Now, I don't know what the workaround here is. You can't really be in max protect all game. Our wideouts don't get enough separation for that. There's going to be moments where Elijah or Mason are one-on-one with these guys. What are we going to do to help them? Whether it be with personnel or play calling. We simply cannot just drop Miller back and allow them to tee off. We're going to get killed by doing that. Getting the run game going is going to be huge for us, and attacking the middle of the field in the pass game as our linebackers aren't the best in coverage, we've got to take advantage of that as well. But another big name to know on this defense is the safety Jalen Reed. This guy can do it all. Great blitzer, he can tackle in space, can make plays on the ball, big time player for Penn State. And also you see here on the screen, cornerback AJ Harris is also a stud. 0 touchdowns allowed this year, 1 pick, 2 PBUs, 32.9 passer rating allowed, and an 87.1 coverage grade per PFF. Absolute baller. We're going to have to find a way to win against him. I thought our wideouts would have some more success last week against Minnesota, but once again, man, the separation wasn't really there. So we've got to find some wrinkle to get those guys open, whether it's playing different guys like an Xavier Jordan, some more Kyle Ford. I don't know what Lincoln's going to do, but we have to do something different this week. But yeah, let's head over to G's Keys and then we'll get into the score prediction. All right, so offense, number 1, we just talked about it, block. We have to block these guys. We have to find some way to do that. We can't have Miller on his back all game. Give him time to throw, give him time to make plays, and then we'll have a chance in this one. Key number 2 is fast start. We know that the USC offense has been very slow starting this season. That's also been a big talking point for Penn State fans. They've had some really rough first quarters. Can we come out hot and get a 14-point lead early? That would be massive for us. And then number 3 is play clean. Why is USC 3-2 on the year? There's a lot of factors that have gone into it, but turnovers are the number 1 thing for me. You can't turn the ball over in this conference and expect to win. Just can't do it. Play clean, keep the ball. No picks, no fumbles, nothing crazy like that. Let's just stay clean and easy. Now, key number 1 for the defense, tackle. We saw our tackling woes from last year come back in force last week. A boatload of missed tackles for us. These running backs we're playing, we cannot afford to miss tackles. They're going to house it. Absolutely cannot allow that. Bring the ball carrier to the ground. Key number 2 is make Drew throw. This is going to be a run-first approach from Penn State. If somehow we can take that away and force Drew Aller to have to make plays, I think we're going to be in a very good spot. Seeing the path to us getting there is a tricky one, but if we can do it, that would be a massive key. And then the opposite of the offense, it's turnovers. This defense has to force more turnovers, and Drew Aller really isn't a guy that's going to put the ball in harm's way. So if he does, if he throws a ball behind a receiver, if there's a tip ball, we have to take advantage of it because odds are that's not going to happen again. All right, guys, those were G's Keys. Now let's go to the score prediction. Okay, so I've looked at this game through every possible prism I can, from my analyst eyes, from my fan eyes. And look, I'll be honest, there aren't a lot of football reasons for USC to win this game. The matchup is horrible. Their strengths are our weaknesses. We haven't proven to be consistent. We haven't proven that we can hang on to the ball. But like I said in the beginning, if we lose this game, this season is over. There's so much on the line here. We're in desperation mode. We have to have it. There's no way around it. I'm putting my faith in Lincoln Riley, in D'Anton Lynn, in Doug Belk, and Coach Henney, and Coach Entz, and the entire Trojan staff to get these guys ready to play, to understand the ramifications if we don't win. There's simply too much on the line in this game. I think we're going to come out swinging, and I think we're going to be fighting for our lives. And I have SC winning a 31-28 classic in the Coliseum. I will admit that I'm predicting a more with my heart than my head on this one, but I truly do believe that our guys can do it, and I am very much looking forward to seeing us take the field on Saturday. Guys, as always, I would love to hear your score predictions down below in the comment section. So excited for this game, so much on the line, such high stakes. Can't wait for Saturday. If you guys did happen to enjoy this game preview, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for being here. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on. Beat the Nittany Lions.